Hey.
Hey, you guys.
Hi.
This is Nina Soul here with
Red Witch.
and
Diana.
that booty right there.
And
see.
Rowan.
Yes, there we go.
All of you.
And all of you.
Right.
All right, we're good. Okay, so as promised, you guys, we said we were going to be doing live videos for every lesson that we're going to be reading in the Warrior Goddess training. So we did go ahead and read our first lesson. So this is just going to be a discussion on what it was that we got out of this lesson that we just read. We did take some notes. We just wanted to discuss it with everybody because this is going to be part of our book club that we have started. I see Debbie. Oh, Debbie has joined us. Alicia has joined us. Hey, hello, ladies. Hello, goddesses.
Hi.
Goddesses in training. So, so we went ahead and read our first lesson. So we're just kind of going to go around and talk about what we felt off of what it was that we read and how we feel that we can incorporate these things that we're going to be learning within this book, how we can incorporate them into bettering ourselves as goddesses and our own lives and empowering ourselves and things like that. So who wanted to go ahead and...
You did. You're first.
I'm first. I'm always first. Okay, I'm first. All right. So I did read the first lesson. It was called "Commit to You." So right, that was the first.
Yep.
Commit to you. Hold on, let me get there. Let's see. Yeah, commit to you was the first lesson in the book. So this is the first lesson, is commit to you. And one of the questions that it had asked in the book, it says, where are you still hooked to old reflections of power? And how are your old judgments, fears tied to an old power matrix? So, I really got to kind of thinking, these questions really got me to thinking. So what I had wrote was, being guilt-driven to hold on to what no longer serves my highest good as a way of providing others with a reason to become something greater than what they see in themselves, only for me in turn to realize changes were only on the surface. I said, I need to realize people cannot be convinced of what they need to do to improve themselves, their lives, and how they think. Some people are okay with being okay, but for people that want to experience much more, such as myself, need to not to take so long to recognize that when it's time to move forward, there is no reason to look back. So part of me and my personal, what I had gotten from what I had read was moving forward and not looking back, and how it's okay to not look back, because you need to understand that the steps that you take forward are to take you to somewhere that you're destined to be. And to keep replaying the same things and keep making the same choices and keep holding on to the same things that you're holding on to, it might feel comfortable, but are you truly happy in your comfortability? So, that's kind of what while I was reading this, it started to make me personally, really analyze certain things that are coming up in my life, that I'm going through, that I'm starting to realize, and understanding that it's okay to move forward. And I don't owe people anything to have to put myself in a situation where my true happiness is not found, because that is ultimately our purpose in experiencing this life in this dimension, is for us to experience true happiness. And we can't allow ourselves to suppress ourselves to make somebody else happy. We can't allow ourselves to stop loving ourselves to love somebody else and provide that for somebody out of guilt. So this is like a lot of things that I had read in this book really started to bring up some surface things that I had noticed that, I myself want to work on, and I need to work on it if I'm ever going to become true to my inner goddess. It's one of those steps. So the thing is that sometimes it's hard to take steps forward, but once you take those steps forward, you don't regret where you end up being at, because you know that where you're going is a lot better than where you're at right now. So sometimes you gotta give some, you gotta lose some to gain a lot more than what it was that you traded in. So that was one of the things that I had got out of that. What did you guys, as far as note wise?
So, I really love this book.
I
really
do
love the way
too.
the lesson starts out. It says, don't ever give up, don't ever give in, don't ever stop trying, don't ever sell out. And if you find yourself succumbing to one of the above for a brief moment, pick yourself up, brush yourself off, whisper a prayer, and start where you left off. But never, ever, ever give up. I absolutely love that.
I love that.
I think I'm gonna burn it.
I love that too.
I want a copy of it.
And that's the thing, is that those, these words that they give you at the beginning of the lesson, the words that they give you at the beginning of the lesson, I love that they give you such an inspiring message before you read this chapter, because it helps to prepare you for the things that surface during reading it. It's like, okay, like just know that it's gonna be okay. Whatever it is that starts to surface while you are reading this book, it's like they're already giving you encouragement before you get to releasing whatever it is that needs to be released. And ultimately, it takes a lot of releasing old habits, bad outlooks on things. You have to release these things in order to move forward and to become your highest self. That's a part of it. It's a filtration system. Go ahead. Sorry.
So, ironically, today's card of the day was to stop hiding behind masks.
Mm-hmm.
And the book starts off saying how we as women, we're really known to know commitment. But a lot of us commit to hiding and exaggerating the flaws that we feel are flaws. And with today's card, we need to realize that the hiding needs to stop. The mask needs to come off, because each of us are empowered in our own way and made uniquely to be exactly who we are, and to pretend to be something else because we think society or those around is what they're wanting,
Or logic.
right? Then that's that's being completely false and not being true to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So this book, showing it, reading it and all that, just opens up more into how whoever we are and whatever we are, it's unique, and it's very powerful, and it's perfect, just like that. And for things that we may want better, then we have that opportunity to change. You're not stuck with that. You're
exactly.
not, if you're
improvement.
right, you're not stuck with like, okay, this is the way it is, and I just wish it was this. Well, if that makes something better for you, okay, not better for somebody else, but better for you, then you can change that.
And it has to be better in a way that's going to improve who you are. Not like here at the shop, like being here at the shop, we've come to know like a lot of customers, what they come in with. Most of them come in with issues with love. Most of them come in with issues with self-esteem. Most of them come in with issues of finances. But here's the thing, is that when they have an issue with something, a lot of times they have that power within them to change what it is that they're doing. It's just changing their outlook on it. So when people are wanting to lose weight, for example, is a big thing here. Like, we have a lot of women that are self-conscious about their weight. But here's the thing, do you want to lose weight to be healthy, or do you want to lose weight to be pretty? Because there's a big difference, and that is going to be what fuels you to making a change in your life. You cannot do it for just for the what do you call that? The aesthetics of it. I mean, why would you want to just lose weight so that people can look at you and think that you're pretty? You should want to lose weight because you want to be healthy, because you want to live long. because you want to, you don't there's health problems and issues that run in your family genetically, and you want to avoid those things, then you do something to prevent it. But never should you have to want to lose weight because you want to look more pleasant to other eyes. It don't work that way. And if that's what it is that you're putting into yourself, like if you're like, I want to lose weight because I want to be prettier, you're going to have a harder time because the reason is not genuine.
Very true. Very true. What I got from this chapter, 3 words: slap yourself awake. For me, it was a huge reckoning because I have bought into the roles that are expected of me. And I don't know if it's taking away the mask or stripping yourself down. It is. Every transformation begins with that rebirth. So you have to strip away everything that you hold as being, your reality, when in fact it is just something that can be broken in a heartbeat. So you need to break through that. But for me, the mask is right now, I'm looking at the mask. This is how I want people to perceive me. I want that mask, actually, but I want my power behind it. So this is how I want you to see me, not how I'm looking at how you perceive me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that this chapter,
girl. Yes, girl.
this chapter
Yes.
is about stripping away.
Where's your drink?
I like, where's her green juice?
We've got a healthy person here.
I'm gonna drink my green juice.
She's doing the green
Yes.
stuff. There you go. But
Yes, to that.
that is how I'm perceiving this. A little bit different, but the same. And this is going to ring true for everybody in a different level because everybody grows at different rates.
But you know what that is too, sister? That's finding your confidence.
True.
Not caring what the other person sees when they look at you. Not
Right.
giving a shit. Why should you have to care about what somebody else sees or what somebody else thinks of you?
Right.
They're not living your life.
Exactly.
You're the one walking around in this capsule. This is yes,
Ashe.
This look.
We gotta do this again.
Yes. We got this thing
You guys should be having wine with us out there.
So every time,
Ashe.
hold on. Every time here in our tribe, this is our tribe, you guys. This is
Minus
when I
one.
say,
Minus one.
oh, minus one.
Minus
when
one.
I say our vibe tribe, this is who I'm talking about. This is our tribe right here. This is what we do Fridays. This is what we do. So we were the ones who decided that we wanted to do this book club, but then all of a sudden we're like, you know what? Let's do like this virtual thing. Let's make it, for everybody because everybody should be channeling into their inner warrior goddess. Everybody should be doing it, so like let's do it as an empowerment.
Absolutely.
So but where was I at? I wanted to say something. That's confidence though. What
Yeah.
Sister Beach just said, that's your confidence. We live our
It's
lives
true.
for ourselves. I mean, nobody can. Why should we have to impress somebody else? Why should we have to meet somebody else's expectations, whether they be our parents, our children? Why should we have to meet their expectations? For what?
And that's
what?
part of the commitment we need to change.
Commitment to yourself.
To
Because
yourself, yeah.
here on page 3, if you all read it, the
Mhm.
keystone of committing to yourself is quite simple. Learn to love all of who you are, flaws and all. Yes, it could be a difficult thing because you're not used to it. But your deepest healings occur when you learn to be your own best friend, your own companion, and your own cheerleader.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's what really resonated with me. I did because I have the workbook also. So there were other exercises in there that we're going to start posting so all of you can have with different questions. And one of them was the mirror gazing
Yeah, I saw that.
exercise, which I know I tend to
It's okay. Keep going.
criticize various parts of my body, and I used to always do this ritual for myself where I would in the morning get dressed and I would look at myself in the mirror naked, and I would say, and just examine my body. And the first time I did it, I recognized everything that was wrong with it, and it made me cry. And I was starting to say, but then I said, you know what? I love you. I love this. I love that. I love that. And then it got to a point where I was just doing it, and I realized I really wasn't looking at myself anymore, and I was just trying to hide it. And then when I went back and saw it in this exercise and started to acknowledge every single aspect of my body and really called it to attention and spoke to it. And initially I did start to cry again, but then I felt those parts of my body begin to awaken. And I felt myself just starting to really love myself again, and not really going to the outside, but finding my power within. And one of the things that really stuck out to me was on page 3, how the author talks about when she first did this book and her husband decided she wanted to leave, and it was like, what do you miss about him? And that, like, it was a slap in the face to
It
me.
really was.
Because,
Wow.
right, it was like slap yourself
really
away.
was.
Because then I had to think about the guy's update and how I've cried over that. I'm like, okay,
For what
did I miss about them? And then
Yeah.
going into myself and then saying, okay, how can I give that to myself? And that was my awakening. And then also looking, because I also associated power with an external, with because of the way I was raised, like knowledge is power. So I was striving always to get the best education. So it was degrees and schooling, and then what you wear. And so then I started looking around my house. It was like, okay, what did that get? What energy is that giving to me? What purpose is that?
It has to be reciprocated. If you're gonna give, if you're gonna devote a portion of yourself, whether it be your time, your energy, your love, whatever it is, if you're giving something, you have the right to love yourself, to also receive. But if you're always giving and you're never receiving, you're not loving yourself. You're draining yourself. You're sacrificing yourself.
And you're
You're
constantly
giving,
giving.
And then you start to find your value in how you can make others feel, or what you can do for other people, but you don't find your value in yourself. Just you, just being you, with no expectations.
And just being okay with being you.
Being happy with being you.
Being happy.
Yeah.
Being, like, loving being you.
Mhm.
And more importantly, not comparing you to anyone else.
Yes.
Because we are all unique.
Oh,
We are
girl.
all
Yes.
unique. We all have
Girl.
beautiful gifts.
Yes.
So it's not
To
comparing.
red.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I did take one more note. So, also the book had asked, what does true power mean to you? So for me, true power to me is going through things that had the power to destroy me, but instead of coming out of the situation weak, I came out stronger and with a better understanding for the reason and the lesson. That to me is what true power is, to be able to come out of a situation that was meant to completely break you down, and instead of breaking down, you rose up like a phoenix, and you come up stronger and more powerful and more happy and more alive and free, and that to me is true power.
And see, when I took that question, I took it, I wrote it from the point of view of just describing what it meant to me initially, and then going through and rereading this and doing another definition. So when I looked at it initially, I saw how I associated power with an external thing as
Mhm.
opposed to an
As
internal
yeah, to an
thing.
internal.
So it was like at that time, true
But that's
power
even how we view the goddess as an external thing.
that we
But we need to
them
view it as an internal.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
Because the goddess is in
what
us.
Yeah.
We
all
are
of us.
goddesses. We are gods. We are
And
goddesses.
seeing all of that.
Yes.
That we have all of that
Yes.
within us.
Yes. Ashe.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's pretty expensive.
Yes. Oh, red. Oh, what I was saying is that when we toast and we drink that intention. So we empower. That's why we do this. You guys are gonna see this is what we do when we're just on our regular hangouts. We will toast to everything because that's giving power. That's like taking into us what it was that we just said, making it a part of us. So that's why we do that. Yeah, but is there anything else? I know it had asked about female role models.
And
What
I
did
just
you
got
guys-
like carried away with that.
Did you? You got a list?
I got
She's
carried-
got a list, let
I
me
got
tell you.
carried away with that.
Did you?
And then because I saw like the different when they said and I just started seeing
Oprah was
images.
one on my
yeah,
list.
that she was at my top like my top three
She's one
were
of my
my
top.
mom,
Was Oprah.
Oprah, and Michelle Obama.
Oh yes.
So, and when I think of the women who are role models for me, and they talked about just their presence and their courage and passion and honesty. And when I'm talking about honesty, I'm talking about honesty in their story. And the things, and how you spoke earlier, it's like being able to go through things. And one of another big one for me is Rihanna, because she's unapologetic
Yeah.
about who
Just,
she is.
what she is,
And
and
she
that's it.
is what
Yeah.
she is.
And that's, I have so many. I
love
have so many
that.
Latina role models, women role models. Celia Cruz, La
Yes.
Lupe. You know, they're just. They don't even like. It's like they don't even care. They're just who they are. They're true to themselves. And the thing is that people love that,
Right,
because
and
that's
it's
when
like
you're
this-
the most. That's when you're the most drawn. People are drawn to you when you love yourself. People are so drawn to you.
Exactly. And it was like, this
They
is who
either
I am.
love you
They
or
either
they
love
hate
you or they hate
And
you,
it's
but
like,
those
that's
ones
right.
that hate you, you're
Hate you.
just like, bitch.
Whatever. And it was
Yeah,
like,
you're
you
like-
don't care. And that's
You
what
do
I
the
love. That's what
smoking.
I love about Rihanna. And she was like, I don't care.
That's exactly how I am.
Right.
Like, you either like me or you hate me. You gonna
whatever.
thumb
I
this
mean,
video
and
down, thumbs
another
it down.
one
You gonna
is,
thumb it up. Hey.
A new one, Cardi B,
Cardi B.
who's just like, she's another. And she was like, she was just on what is it? Some show the other day talking about, she took them to where she was a stripper. She was like, that was my locker.
Right.
And I did this.
And you know,
and it was
what
like,
I like is when women talk like they're men.
yeah.
Because they're that strong with it.
Right, and
They're
they're
that
confident,
strong.
yes.
They're that confident. They don't care.
Mhm.
Like, and I'm very like that too. I'll be the first one to bust myself out because I'm not gonna give somebody else that
Right.
power. Like, if anybody gonna bust me out, it's gonna be me. Yes. I swear that's how I am. I'm like, hold on.
Right.
Hold on. Don't nobody know me like me.
Exactly.
You want some shade, I will throw shade at myself. But hey, at least I'm honest.
Right.
True.
So that's it. I don't know. Did you guys have anything you wanted to throw in?
Well, I think someone that is a little overlooked is Alice Walker. I don't know if she's
She was on my
she's
list
on your
right
list. I know this
here.
girl's got a list.
She got
and
it.
to tell you
She
what,
was on
It
my
looked like
you know,
Santa Claus.
She was on my list.
well,
because she
I
was definitely
just
on my list.
really feel that she speaks her truth.
Mhm.
She finds the truth and she shows the world. And
She
I
shows
think
the world the truth.
truly, I mean, I can't recall the name of the book, but I mean just the genital
Temple of
mutil-
My Familiar.
Oh my
The
good
temple
grief!
and the,
That
yes.
she's got it. But I mean, that book was riveting, and it just really awakened on just cultural differences and what we do and what we subject women and
Mhm.
young children
Yeah.
that are female
into because of cultural persuasion.
And my mom had me read that book.
I will. It is extremely intense. If you
yes.
ever are looking for something to really see
Empowerment.
and empower, but she's bringing, and I really respect that, you know. And I also had a friend in the past that was a true warrior. She tried stripping away, you know, all these masks, if you will, to reveal the true self, because there is that basis underneath it all, and we just keep putting walls and masks and walls and masks.
And all
And
these
we
walls
forget.
and these masks, these are metaphors for judgment, for how we perceive things,
Yeah.
for what we feel is beautiful, what others see as
Right.
beautiful. Media has a lot to do with all this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, we see something like these models and we're thinking that we gotta look like this to look beautiful, but we don't have to.
No, we don't.
I mean, I get looked at all crazy all the time because I got, you know, some hair. I get looked at, yes, I get looked at very crazy, you know, and thank you. But, yeah, so I'm just confident. I don't care what people have to say about my hair. I don't care what people have to say about my makeup, if they think it's too dark, if they think I look goth. I really don't care. It's what I like. It's my preference. And that's the thing, is that there's preference and there's addiction. There's two separate things. Yes, it's my right. It's my right to be able to express myself, to decorate myself how I want to. And it's how I'm happy. So, I mean, I'll go anywhere dressed how I'm dressed, or looking how I'm looking, or wearing what I'm wearing. And I go there with confidence, not caring if people look at me the wrong way. And I get it all the time. And I do get hate and I do get bashed. But it doesn't stop me from being me. I just say fuck the haters. That's it. Oh, we're drinking to that. We're drinking to that. Yes. So what else was I wanting? Oh, and let's not forget our female sex symbols. Marilyn Monroe. A lot of people look at Marilyn Monroe. Women who are not afraid to be sexy. And
I had a whole bunch of mine.
yes, even for me, Lucille Ball she's one of them. Betty White is another one. You know, like I love them because they don't care. Like, and that's the thing, is that not a lot of people know this about me. But when I was younger, I had dreams of becoming a comedian. I wanted to be a comedian. So like when I see women like this that actually made it big times off of just being funny and doing crazy things, like those, to me, those are women role models for me, because that I had seen myself as being something like that one day, you know, and I love it. So yeah, they're definitely part of
Women
who are very inspirational to me.
inspirational, like a lot of women who own their sexuality
Who
and
own it,
sensuality,
and they're just like
they're like,
Kit.
boom,
yes, Eartha Kitt. Yes. Oh my God, I love Eartha.
She was amazeballs.
She was
Yes.
amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just quoted her the other day when
And
she
I saw
said,
that.
I know.
"You seen that?
Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like I want to share myself with somebody, but you know, like
I'm not gonna
just like, I'm not
compromise.
going to compromise.
They have to take
She said,
me
"I'm gonna
as I
love
am.
me,
Yeah.
and when I find somebody, you know, I will share myself with myself, and when I find somebody, I will
She's
share
back.
myself with them." Like that's just, yeah, I love that. Yeah, she's back.
So we've missed you.
We missed you. We were still
talking.
talking.
We're
talking.
There's intention up in there, girl. You better drink that.
Okay.
Okay.
Chink, chink. We were chinking your glass every.
I gotta catch up.
Chugga chugga.
All right. What time is it? What time we got?
Well, she needs to say some words.
Yeah. Sister, what?
6:15.
Okay, so go
Okay,
ahead. We got
so-
5 minutes.
How about power? How do people portray power? One of the question was what is true power to you?
Yeah, I said what I found was true power. True power for me was going through some rough shit and coming out of it. Instead of coming out of it weak, you come out of it strong. That to me is true power, is defeating an obstacle that comes your way is for me true power. That's true power for me.
I've recently discovered true power because honestly, true power used to mean to me a successful career, being smart, people looking up to you, you know, having money, making sure that you're perceiving yourself as being wise. That used to be what I figured true power was,
too.
and now it's like, ugh, erase.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause-
Whiteboard.
Yeah.
All right.
So I don't see it that way anymore because I was so worried about everybody's thoughts on what I was supposed to be or what I was supposed to be looked on.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to satisfy, like working at a job and you're trying to satisfy your boss by doing all that you're doing and doing it to the best of your ability because you're ethically working that way. However, you get taken advantage of and they really don't care. So I've learned true power is now I see it as my internal self love, knowing that money or no money, I'm still the same person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to let people know if I have money or no money. I feel that I have wisdom, and I feel like my wisdom is getting, you know, stronger and better.
Wisdom is
daily,
always
'cause
something
we're
that's
constantly
never going to
growing.
be, you
Right.
can never fully have all complete full wisdom because it takes so many life lessons to go through
Yeah.
But you're learning
to have that.
to you know,
Exactly.
to realize that
And
it's
it's
not
good to
just
have-
by books.
Yeah, and it's good to have goals like that because a lot of people, when people set goals, they set materialistic goals.
Yes.
True.
They
True.
don't set goals that are going to strengthen their highest selves.
Yes.
And this is the problem with people because this is why we don't have morality. This is why we don't have, there's so many negative people out there because they're so focused on what they can touch, what they can feel, what they can have, what they can buy, what they can wear.
It's like they
how
have
they
to
can
touch
look.
it. It's tangible.
If you,
they can't
if you
think
have
it.
to touch it,
Right.
if you can't feel it, it's not real.
Right. Right. That's
Right.
how people are.
And
They're
I
trapped
know-
in that.
When I was helping a customer, you mentioned how the media,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
you know, puts upon us so much expectations of how we should be perceived. And I knew I've had the longest bad habit. I'm so happy to finally shake it. But I'd be around people and see their beauty, see their smarts, and think, oh,
You'd compare
I need
it.
to be, I need to do something different and be a better person when, you know, I was still just as equal as they were, but I kept this judgment going on in my head that I
Right.
wasn't good enough,
Mm-hmm.
that I needed to be better, which a lot of that, it comes from your childhood upbringing as well.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's
happy to,
definitely it.
yeah,
Right.
I'm happy to like finally see the power that I have within myself. And I'm not even talking materialistic. I don't even give a crap about the money. I mean, society makes us have to live on the dollar, but I can care less about it. But now I'll look at myself, because there's an exercise in here for mirror gazing, and I'll look at
Okay.
myself and realize like, oh, you look pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Look
You know
at
what
you.
you know what I enjoy doing? I enjoy dancing naked in front of a mirror.
I do too.
I love
That's
it.
my morning.
And
right-
yeah, I do that when I'm getting dressed. When I'm right out the shower, I will be getting dressed and I will literally be dancing
That's why she's late.
naked. That's why I'm late. That's why I'm late. I will do my makeup naked. I do a lot of shit naked. I put my clothes on. My clothes are the last thing to happen.
And the first thing to come off for me when I get
Right.
home, right?
I'm saying
yes,
shit. Yes. That's become my thing.
Yes.
That's become my
I
thing.
gotta get the boys out of my house.
Oh,
I know.
yes. I'm
Just
saying,
walk right
so
in,
my,
go.
my boys watch me, but my boys
I'm
are on
talking
four
about-
legs.
yeah.
Like, you know, Louis will be watching me wagging his tail, and I'm just like,
I think
I
true.
swear,
I
right?
think
Louis
true
is
power
naked.
is being comfortable in your own skin. And
Yeah.
if you're
Mhm.
comfortable
Yes.
in your own skin, you need nothing more.
Exactly.
But community. That's
Community.
important.
Community
That is really important. So stay with us. stay because you're part of our community
Yeah.
as well.
And your
Yes.
community
And-
holds you accountable. Your
and-
community supports you.
Hello.
Holds you
Hello.
We will bust you out.
They
Yes.
bust me out.
Hell yeah.
No, but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
everybody.
Right.
You,
I got busted.
I'm like, I'm trying to, yes, me.
We both,
I have
yes.
too.
That's the thing. We
We
both,
all
we
bust each
don't
other
care.
out. But that's the thing is that we love each other
Yes.
for it. We don't get all defensive. We don't right away, we're
No.
catty and don't fucking tell me that because I will claw your motherfucking eyes out.
And even if you do say that to us, we're
You're
like,
No,
I don't care.
bitch, drink your wine. Drink your wine.
Simmer down. Simmer down.
Right.
Do you know?
Right, you get over it.
Do you remember? You guys are too young. Okay, Mad TV. Do you ever
Yes, I
remember
am.
Mad
I've seen
TV?
the magazine.
Okay.
I've seen the
I
magazine.
do
Yeah,
mad.
Right, Mad? Yes, I've seen. Oh, I thought we were.
No, I'm just like.
TV used to be on TV.
So Mad TV used to be on TV, and there was a character. His name was Stuart Smalley, and he would sit in front of a mirror because he was an oddball. He did things weirdly. People looked at him. He was ostracized, and he would sit in front of a mirror and he would go, "I'm smart enough. I'm good enough, and doggone it, people like me."
Uh-huh.
That should be our mantra.
Yes.
You know, it's like, screw everybody else.
It should
doesn't
be.
matter.
Who
It
gives a
doesn't.
shit?
Except for you guys. You guys need to
Except
come
for
on
no,
board.
hold on. I can't
Hello?
see you guys because you know how many people might thumbs this down. I'm just like, fuck y'all,
Yeah.
thumbs it down.
Thumbs this down.
Thumbs it down, whatever. Bye.
You're like, I don't give a fuck.
I don't. I really don't. That doesn't like. I'm like, okay, thumbs it down.
Then get off
There,
the
when I
fucking
first
page.
when I first started, I would get bothered, like especially when I did a video where I was talking about I had just lost my dad. So I was talking about how it hurt me. I was talking about how I dealt with it, how the ending happened, and somebody had thumbs it down, and I was really emotionally hurt about it.
Wow.
And I had came to the shop and I had told Red, and I had told Tequila too. I had told Red because I know Tequila, you know, she's been on YouTube for a while. You know, so I had told her about it. I told Red, I'm like, you know, fucking crying on their shoulders.
And I was like, I'm gonna find out who this motherfucker
She's like, I
is.
want to know who. She's like, how do I find out who put the thumb down? Yeah, she was pissed. She was pissed. And the thing is that Tequila said something that really like stuck with me. She said, you might have one thumb down. She goes, but for all them one thumbs, you got 5 up. She's like, don't let that affect you.
Yeah, and I
Don't
was
let
just
it
like-
stop you. Red was putting the fucking hit out. She was putting the hit out on somebody. She didn't care who it was. She was over here rapping corn, what is it that you use? Corn silk?
Yeah.
She was using corn silk over here. She's like, I'm gonna bind this motherfucker up. Whoever it was, let it go back to them.
Idiot who didn't know how to do
I do the thumb. He accidentally hit the wrong motherfucking thumb. He was like, he hit that wrong thumb. Bitch, that's what you get.
Right. Be like, learn how to use your
I
fucking
seen the rage and the love she was putting in it, so I know it touched somebody. Somebody was touched that day. I don't know who you were, but
Did
I'm
you guys
sorry.
already
Sorry
talk
for
about your
you.
female role models?
Yeah, let's hear yours.
Female role
Yes.
models, go ahead.
My female role models that I listed was, I gotta read her name because Malala Yousafzai. She was the youngster
Yeah.
who actually got shot in the head
Mhm.
because she wants her country to allow women to be educated.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah,
winner.
and she's still
Amazing.
fighting for it. She's one of my role models. The other person was Princess Diana. I
Another
absolutely
amazing.
love that she sort of went against the grain of the royal
Mhm.
ways.
Yes, yes.
She did what she wanted to do. She raised her children the way she wanted to do. She made her children ride the public transportation, eat in public restaurants. She wanted them to experience life as
And I
all
think
of us
that's
do.
why they're such, even though she had died when they were young, but that you can see that energy, her energy,
It's in them.
is in them
Yes.
from how they reach
Yes,
out and really
definitely.
connect
Yeah.
with people.
Mhm.
And you know what? Also, what I believe. Look, here I go with the conspiracy theorist, but I believe that people, when they're too much of power, when they're helping other people to awaken,
Mm-hmm.
they become targets.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
So I don't feel like these
No, it's not
deaths.
conspiracy.
I don't
Yeah,
feel like
no,
these
that-
that's
deaths
the truth.
happen. You know, just I feel like everything has been planned, and when there's somebody of power rising up, helping other people to be empowered, because we're ran under control.
Mm-hmm.
So when this happens,
It's the truth.
it's to take
I mean,
out,
think
it's
about
to
all
take
the
out somebody who's
assassinations.
awakening
Everybody was
people.
bringing awareness for
Right.
one reason or another,
It's true.
and they couldn't stand it.
I always say Tupac when I'm talking about. I always yes, Tupac, Tupac.
You listen to his songs. You listen to this. And I don't know what I expect. This motherfucker was up.
You girl, you go.
He
This is they
he
know.
was
They hear
prophet.
Nina.
he was a prophet.
He was.
When you
Ashe.
listen to his
Yes,
words,
Tupac.
the words of his songs.
Oh God.
I mean, to this day now,
he's.
I can just listen to them, and I'm like, wow.
You know what though? In his life, he rised up to his inner God.
Mm-hmm.
He became his inner God. So he didn't have to come back and do this shit all over again. That's when they said Pac was coming back. No, the fuck he didn't. He rose to the divine. Because he was spreading word. He was empowering people. He was making things known with no apologies. He didn't care what nobody had to say.
True.
He was true to himself.
I love me some Pac.
I love me some motherfucking Pac, boy.
Boy.
Third person.
Go ahead. like, me and Ricky gotta calm down. We're
We
like,
gonna have to play some Pac after
yeah, we
this.
gonna play some Pac after this.
Actually, it was
Some
Who's
Pac
up?
music.
It's Michelle Obama.
Of course.
Yes.
Because did you pick her too?
Yeah.
So, and I think what gets me with these people, I think like what they all have in common is doing something against the grain.
Right.
First of all, a
That's
woman of
true.
color, she already had her own issues going against her.
Mm-hmm.
Then she becomes the
Judgments
first,
and issues, yes.
what do you call those women? The
First
first lady,
lady.
yeah.
Mhm.
The first lady. So now she's the first lady of color. And I remember watching everyone had something to say about what she dressed like, all this kind of
Mhm.
stuff, right? And I was just like, I am so happy that she's wearing what she wants to wear and not like, oh, this is what they want to
We're
see.
just talking about that.
And also, I loved how she interacted with people. She kept
Yeah.
it real. She danced. She dressed down.
Mhm.
She danced. She sang.
She shopped at Target. It was like
Right.
Target T-shirt. Come on.
Right.
Yes.
I mean,
She's humble.
I love
Right.
the people who keep it real and who would go
Mhm.
actually go against the grain of what's
so
expected.
keeping it real, going against the grain, embracing yourself for who you are. What were the other things? What other key things can we put out there for the women that are watching? For the men who are understanding women, for the men who are embracing their inner divine feminine energy.
Yeah, being
Even.
unapologetic.
Being
about
unapologetic.
who you are.
Absolutely
for
right.
who you are
For
and what
who you
yeah,
are.
for
For
everything
who you
about
are.
you.
Yes.
Everything.
And I would say also, like how they said, just being honest.
Yes.
Honest with your
Yes.
story, because they're a lot of people who are role models, and then they may try to cover up their stories or what happened to them in the past. But when I think of, like you said, Maya Angelou or an Oprah, and how they talk about, I had a child young at this age. I was promiscuous at this age.
They bust
and
themselves out.
They bust themselves out, like,
And they don't give a
And they
shit.
don't give. But they were like, "This is part of my story.
Your growth.
There's
This is
nothing wrong
part of
with
my
it.
And it's
growth
part of the
and all
growth.
that."
And it's
like,
the process, it's the lesson. You have to
Mhm.
respect the lesson.
yes.
Because it's gotten us this far.
I was,
And the people who are in denial of what it was that they had gone through, then they haven't learned their lesson.
Yeah.
They're afraid to learn the lesson. They
Mhm.
prevent themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They hold themselves back. For some people, they are their own worst enemy.
I totally
Most people, actually.
Most people.
Unfortunately, because
They're the
of
worst critics.
society.
They're the worst enemy.
and they go with society.
and they go with this this guilt.
this flow of what's
This,
expected.
yeah, because a lot of us have been raised in religious households. A lot of us have been raised to think a certain way. A lot of us have been raised with the view on how the world works based off of what our parents and their parents and their
So forth.
parents
And that's how
have
it continues.
believed, and it continues like that. It becomes a never-ending pattern. So when you think about it, we're still paying the debts of our ancestors because they have had a programmed way of thinking because of what it was that they were going through in that moment in time. But here's the thing: is that times change.
Yep.
We need to change. We need to change along with the times. We need to balance this out. We need to ride the waves instead of crashing with them.
We had this discussion a long time ago,
Mhm.
but with what you just said, all the generations past, bringing or setting forth to the next, without the change happening.
Generation curses is what we call
Yes.
them.
Exactly.
My tattoo! Oh my god! Ow! Like, hold on! You just made it hurt. Oh,
Generation curses. I'm sorry.
it's okay.
I'm sorry, baby.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh my-
That's the curses that people are like, we're cursed, we're cursed, we're cursed. You're not cursed.
You're
just
not.
letting the old continue on.
You're being a part of the pattern.
And you're bringing
Go
it to
against the
heaven.
grain, like Red Witch was saying. Like we were all saying, the women that we look up to are the ones that go against the grain.
Yes.
So when you look up to something, when you admire something, align yourself with that. Align yourself with what it is that you admire. If you see a beauty in the world, align yourself with that beauty and you become a part of that beauty. That beauty is then internalized and you're a part of it. And you can see yourself as beautiful through not your weaknesses but your strengths.
And not even through what you're looking at, but like she said, internalizing it and seeing your own eyes,
Mhm.
the beauty of yourself.
It takes a beautiful eye to see something beautiful standing in front of you.
Kind of goes with be in the now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be
Be
present.
Grounded. Be
the
grounded.
now.
Ground yourselves.
That
So
was an
that's
awesome
it.
talk.
That was an awesome talk.
Yes,
Yes. Yes.
So lesson 2 now is align with life.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
So
Align with life.
next Friday, probably
Next
the same
Friday.
time,
Same time.
we are gonna discuss lesson 2, and then there is a workbook that Dinah here is gonna put out there because there's additional exercises to do in the workbook that can open you up and make you become more aware and assist in our growth process here and becoming our goddess in training. So I definitely look forward to that next chapter.
Mhm.
And speaking of our role models, the actual chapter starts off with a little quote by Maya Angelou.
Go ahead, sis.
I love to see a young girl go out and grab the world by the lapels. Life's a bitch. You gotta go out and kick ass.
Yes.
Ashe.
I'm out.
Ashe.
I'm out of gas.
I know.
I'm out. Yeah, my
I'm
shit's
gonna
on
do this
E.
right now. We're
I'm on
done.
E.
You
I'm the
want
G
some
right here. Yes. So we will be seeing you guys at next Friday.
Next Friday.
Next Friday for the next chapter. We'll go ahead and be discussing all those things. You guys, I'm so happy you guys got to know the tribe today. So when I say the vibe
Minus
tribe, minus
She'll be here
one.
next week.
-1.
I won't be
Vibe
here
tribe
next
minus
week.
one.
Oh,
so then next
so
week
it'll
it'll
be
be minus one.
-1.
Yeah, so you guys will be
She'll
seeing
join us on
us.
YouTube.
Yeah, I'll be with
Yeah.
you on YouTube.
She'll
In
be with us
California.
still. Exactly.
Cali.
She's going.
She's
freaking
going,
work.
She's
going
going to the
back,
war,
back
yeah.
to Cali, Cali.
California love.
All right, you guys. Well, we will be seeing you guys at the next video. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Awesome, guys.
Thank you.
And if you
Thank
guys
you.
still want to order your books,
Yes.
it's not too late. we've discussed, but you know, your journey never
You can
stops.
still join
you
us.
can
Yeah.
still-
Journey never
we
The
got
stops.
chapters
plenty
are
books.
short. You can catch up.
They
Yeah.
are short.
You guys want books?
Come in and get them.
Call me, text me, come in and get your book. I'll ship it right out.
What's your number, Sis?
773-640-7886.
7886. That's the last. Okay, so all right. So that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your continued love and support. And we will see you guys at the next video.
Bye.
Blessed be.